everybody! Finally doing a little bit of more streaming today! Yay! I'm surprised I did. I did not have a good morning this morning. I got a bit sick, but I've taken a good nap, so I think I should be set for now. Which is why we're kind of doing a little chill energy. And cheese! Two very different vibes in chat right now. Alright, let's get to... Oh, and I just realized the game is not showing up. There we go. Is it fixed? Yeah, there we go. Okay. If my controller would connect. I can't fix that beforehand. That kind of sucks. Alright, we're just gonna... No, that's not what I meant to do. It's alright, we'll figure it out. The last time we finished the Lyney and Lynette trial, and now we're kind of moving on to the whole missing girls disappearance case in the case of Navia's father and, you know, why he basically gave up his life when he had a kid. Okay, my controller automatically works. Alright. So we need to go a little bit up. Okay, that's above the surface, I'm guessing. Right? Yeah, it's above. So I'm gonna teleport. I think here should work. Okay, I don't think that is the right place, but we'll get there. It's close, anyways. So, how does it want me to get in? Okay, maybe it's in here instead, and I have to get up different. Oh wait. Make sure she doesn't drown, and then I'm gonna read what the quest actually wants me to do, because maybe it'll say in there. So we're now involved in the serial disappearances of young women. Unavia. So doesn't give us much more than that. Do I have to go above the surface? That might be it. Oh, okay, that's exactly what I want us to do. That's one cool fountain.
More speed.
Then this is an elevator? No, it's more stairs. We go here. We're not going to the front of the line. We're just going right behind.
The place we're going is called the Palais Marmonia. The office of the Chief Justice is on the 4th floor.
And up we go. I would, but I'm working a double tomorrow. Because it's graduation around here. And so it's always super busy. Which sucks. I really would like to. I really want to next Saturday because I'm hoping all the graduation stuff is like done. But I come home around like midnight, so. Yeah, for the high school students around here. And so it's a lot of busy time where people are taking off. So then, you know, I gotta fill in. Oh, play Valorant? I mean... Probably Sunday, if you want to play Valorant. I'm actually off then, too, so... I'm gonna attempt to stream if I don't get myself sick again. Oh, dang! Well then, yeah, after Saturday, 'cause tomorrow's just gonna be super busy. But Sunday, I'm completely free. So, it's always Sundays that I happen to be free. Saturdays I always get busy, but I am kind of working with my manager on next week's schedule, so I might be able to try and slip in not doing the Saturday night. Especially because one of the other people who usually works my position, um she's gone for a lot of like graduation stuff because she's one of the few high schoolers we do have. And so she's gonna get worried about her hours, so hopefully she can take the weekend. That would be nice. Nice! Unlocking the whole region. Now my map will look even better. I don't really got anything to give it though. I've not done any of that exploration yet. But yeah, I will let you know when I can join on the Saturdays again.
Halt! Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters.
Turn up the volume of the game just a bit for you guys.
Huh. This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Guess that proves that Nervalet's files are really secure.
Oh, okay. What game? So I can make sure to get it downloaded. I luckily already did have Halo Infinite downloaded, just I didn't place it in an obvious spot on my desktop. It's not, my desktop's not that busy, but I only like almost look at like one corner where all my other games that I really play are. Yeah, I'm good for most games. I just need that weekend to be free.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
Okay, yeah, I definitely have a mana, so yeah, I can play that for sure. Am I good at it? I'm good at being, not imposter.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
I'm not always great at making an alibi. That is my one downfall. So now you will know that. Yeah, I'll let you know as soon as I can about, doing Saturday. No, admittedly so, I'm not that great at it, but I also haven't played a ton, so of course practice makes it better. So. Oh no, yeah, I'll make sure to stream it.
Yep, Paimon can tell. If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy, so please leave if you don't have a reason to be here.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Lyney.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You must be Lyney's attorneys. It's all coming back to me now.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten any explanation on these creatures at all. I don't know if we're going to or not. I feel like they should. Because these are like the only really non-human creatures that are still kind of sentient and aren't kind of androids or robots in some way.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Ah, thanks so much.
We're really just allowed to go into his office? Okay.
Please come in.
Oh, dang, this is one grand office.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalet. We only lied to get in because we didn't know any other way.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
So you're not mad at us?
We're looking for a man called Vacher. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
Oh no, yeah, this room's definitely like gotta be very extensive, but it's also the French, so.
Who knew that Nervalet would be so easy to talk to?
I mean, he was a pretty fair judge, so. At the trial, he let us speak and not just sided with Farina.
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vacher has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
So, we're back to square one.
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take our leave now.
Ahem. Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
I don't think she wants to talk about it with you, buddy. I'm sorry.
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some tendril of regret? No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should. It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear. If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop to the duel? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die, despised and hated by all? Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone. It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Oh. I hope she's gonna be okay. I hope at the end of where we have her included in the story, we actually do get to kind of help her in some way.
Navia, are you okay?
I'm fine. Rain. It's raining.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today. How strange.
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also raining.
Uh-oh, is this gonna have something to do with that whole dissolving people of Fontaine? Well, no, he actually, like, died in front of their eyes.
What is it? Did you think of something?
So it shouldn't be that water issue. Was your father's case... Was he outside when it happened?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value.
But there was something you didn't know at the time.
Oh? Wait.
The fact
You
that
don't
people can
mean-
be turned into water. I guess, but I thought they actually, like, saw a body. Unless you... I mean, even if you dissolve the body, he's already dead. That fact is right there. So maybe they didn't. Maybe I totally misunderstood that part.
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water and then got washed away with the rain? Yeah.
Oh,
If
okay.
that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what he saw to the authorities.
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right. How did I not connect the dots earlier? All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind, we'll get to the bottom of my father's case for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure this time.
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself later?
We should go while the idea's still fresh.
Great, let's go then.
It's not like I'm doing anything else. I want to try keeping the push through all get. Whoa!
Visibility is excellent.
Where
If we
is
head to
this?
higher ground, we
Okay. Doing all the way from over here, over here.
can do a full recon of enemy activity in the area.
I do want to keep pushing through Genshin Story to get back into Windcraft. I reinstalled all my mods, so Windcraft's all set and ready to go. Just need to, you know, play it at some point. This is one cool looking cave.
Whoa, what a huge ship! Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
Oh, that's a ship! That's freaking cool! I love these underground places. They always look so neat. Most of the time, anyways.
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters. My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodied...
Been convinced.
Uh-oh. Okay. I just saw that the stream is lagging a little. My apologies. There is a storm kind of on its way. But I still want to stream regardless, so if my internet goes out, then that will of course be the end of stream. Because I will not be able to get it back up. But I don't think we should be hit by a red zone at all. Checking the weather map. Yeah, no, we're just in the green of the rain, so a little bit of hard rain, but nothing the internet shouldn't be able to handle. So I'll try and keep track on if it kind of lags out a bit. But if it completely stops, then I'll, you know, make sure to say something about it.
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home.
Now we go all the way over to the ship. Cat! I still wish you could pet the cats in Genshin. Or the dogs. Do we go all the way up on the ship? Hopefully it's just a deck. Man, there's so many cats around here. Well, oh, there's a lot of fish, that's why. Now, is there an easy way to get up? Okay, there is. I was very worried I was gonna have to try and climb this, and it was not gonna be one easy task. Mostly because it's curved outward, so it's gonna start trying to kick me off. But no, we're good. We got a nice, easy ramp.
Maloose, we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Maloose? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Lyney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could the mastermind be the same person?
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
So, drugs.
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance.
Yeesh.
As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Which is a good call.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant.
I'm surprised, because then he already established he had a reputation against it, and like, you would assume most of that organization for the synth stuff would know, but maybe not. I mean, glad he got in.
The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lyney's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
Oh, okay. So they could have belonged to someone who got dissolved?
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
Maybe your father got into an argument with the dude? But it is also possible that the third person was to blame.
You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out. I'm finally headed towards the truth.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with 0 warning.
Yeah, I feel like it would have given at least like a little bit of a hint.
I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as your and your father's butler, I must still offer a word of warning. Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice. Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives. There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end?
Like, even if it's like, yes, these are dangerous people, she is owed some sort of answer with how much mystery her father just left her in. Like, even if it's like, they at least discover something, but it doesn't end up leading anywhere, or she has to pull out of the situation when she gets close, she at least somewhat starts having an answer. So then she can come to a conclusion.
Synth is... and Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that, ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, demoiselle, I think you're also ready to take this on.
And of course, if we encounter danger, we can protect her.
So you do know something else, Maloose.
Ooh,
Yes, I
gotta
do.
tell us now.
In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
Oh.
What?
That kind of makes sense. Especially if you're the close person to the person who's trying to solve the case. Then they're gonna take advantage of that.
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live. And the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina de Rosula about the details.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they actually got a British voice actor. But I don't know how much they really extend their reach in terms of voice actors. I know there's at least one voice actor who is a VTuber, Sayu, who's done Sino, and then Lily Pichu, but that's all that I know that they've really reached out for more indie voice actors. It would be cool though if they got more.
But as long as you remain safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right, so nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard. especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight?
He seemed like his pride kind of got in his way of that.
No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now?
He gave you the choice to live how you want.
Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he really didn't need to give me an easy way out. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where synth is produced. Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters. When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
If it's been around for a long time, they probably have a lot of members.
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Yeah, because even if, like we'd have to be sneaky about it in some way, but also be able to get some sort of evidence too. Wonder if they're gonna end up having us do a sneak mission.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Lyney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
That's true.
Huh. That's true. Seems my father really had no choice. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with the disappearances case.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability, I've spent my time keeping secrets, performing basic investigations, and waiting for the right time to come.
Which is another thing a butler can do.
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendors.
Oh, to find them all. Gotcha.
If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people.
Nice job.
The first is Florent, Spina di Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most. which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid capture this whole time. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabriere.
Uncle Marcel.
What is this Confriere? I hope I didn't butcher that. I got close, I think.
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around, with a lot of business connections in the city.
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
Well, I mean, if they're hunting down them... If it was more recent, then it could be like, oh, they're hunting down themselves for, like, the reputation that the sister branch has, but back then it wouldn't have made any sense.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards.
And the guards have kind of been proven to be a little bit infiltrated, so that's probably where we're going.
Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's almost too hard to believe.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty.
Yeah, but we can get a move on this cold case.
And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
Oh, thank you so much, Malus. You really are the best.
He's a great butler.
A new case awaits, my dear partner.
Leave it to
I
me.
hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
Anna's tackling 2 cases in one go. Alright. Now I guess to go talk to the family of the deceased.
It is settled, then. Please excuse me, and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Oh, the daughter does not like us at all. She's like, get away from us. Just minding our own business.
Oh,
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
Let's not bother her for now.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the two of you.
I mean, she totally could be. It depends on what the daughter's probably been told about her father. For, like, how she's gonna feel about Navia. But also, you know, it's a child.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing a father so needlessly.
You don't understand at
all. I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you. And to all of us.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot Jacques.
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything.
So I got money hungry.
So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us.
Wait, does that mean someone ordered Jacques to take out Callus? It was probably his only way to be like, either we do something bad to your family, or you do this for us and you're back on relatively good terms. It's probably that kind of thing.
I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to. Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callus had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate him for what he had done.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing?
Because he was still with the bad people.
Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a really good man. The best in the whole world.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons, regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword. He must have done so to give you a better life.
Oh.
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will definitely find the truth. The current state of things is not something I'm willing to just sit back and accept.
Thank you. I'm very grateful to hear this from you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
This is gonna be such an emotionally exhausting day for her. She's learning so much more about her.
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next.
Okay.
Florent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way, so please don't worry.
But like, she's learning new things about her father, new things for the case, and then, you know, visiting Jacques' family finally. Like, that's gotta be a lot for her all in one day.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callus was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callus's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callus was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So I guess all of this will be checking in on if everybody's stories are about the same.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callus had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person.
That is true.
About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
It's very possible.
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callus ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys? But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us?
Well, I mean, didn't with his daughter. I don't know if he would with anybody else.
He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
We're thinking people wouldn't believe him.
About that, Malus told me a thing or two. So, I think I can understand why he committed to the duel. I'll tell you everything once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then I'll leave Mr. Callus's honor in your hands, boss.
Hello, welcome on in. We're just playing some Genshin, getting through Navia's case with her father.
And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callus the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callus, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callus's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today, no matter what others might say. He'll always be the man I respect the most, and he'll always be my boss.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm still getting through it. To hopefully, catch back up since they're already releasing 4.7 already.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth. You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
Right, now we gotta go to the court to speak to the other person. Yeah, I forgot that's a new feature. Alright, this statue should probably get us close enough. Yep. Oh, and he's right there. Dang, that was a good spot.
Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
Oh no, yeah, this is the Archon quest. I'm like very behind in Genshin. This is probably, I want to guess 4.2 stuff, I think. But yeah, no, I'm very behind, which is why I'm trying to catch up.
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callus did a fantastic job running the town, building Spina di Rasula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way. It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
Yeah, you're good, you're good. I still need to do the story quest too. I totally forgot about those and those piled up real quick. I didn't even I took a peek before when I was just playing with friends a little bit off stream, and I didn't know Yoimiya got another one. So I'm interested to see what that's about when I do get there. I need to keep going through the story to even unlock some of those.
Ah, yes. These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Lyney's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it.
Oh, nice. I hope that one's good. I don't remember if I did that one or if I did. No, I did Tignari's, I think. But I don't know if I did Sino's yet.
If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial numbers and send them after me.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage.
Yeah, I'll need to check which ones I got. I'll probably end up doing those after I've caught up with all the Archon quests. And in the middle of the Archon quest, I think I'll do the Ito event that's going on right now, just because I know it's gonna end in a few days.
If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
Makes sense.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
Alright, now for Marcel. It might actually be best to kind of walk. Or see if I can just jump over everything.
Time to scout.
I did not know those bird things would move. I don't think I've seen them before yet. Wait, why did it... Am I dumb? A little bit, yeah. I'm so glad you guys can't hear the dog barking. There's some dogs barking in my house, like halfway across the house, but I don't know. My mic quality goes on and off. I'm thinking about getting a new mic, but I need to do research on a good one.
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him. Sure. I will let him know right away.
Ah, Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you saw everything too, right?
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Yeah, I'm really liking Navia's character. I hope we actually, in the end get to see a lot more of her. Maybe I might try wishing for her at some point. When her banner comes back up, if I got enough. I barely got anything at all. I don't think I have any primos at the moment.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
I'm very broke.
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery?
Yeah, just before I started streaming Genshin again, I actually had luckily I think 12 wishes, and I got Arlecchino, but I don't have anything to use her with, so I can't use her. But I like having her because she's very pretty, and I want to know more about her. But I know I'm not at that point yet in the story quest, Archon quest, but I'm very excited when I do get there.
I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Yeah, I'm really curious how they're gonna do Columbia if she will be playable, because I know a few of the Fatui aren't. Oh yay! My stream alert worked! Oh my god, stream elements worked! Thank you so much! And I'm so glad that worked. I still need to draw a few more alerts too. I really wonder if Doltore is gonna be playable, but with his cloning stuff and no vision, I really don't know. But I hope Columbia is. She's gonna be very interesting.
Exactly.
And powerful.
I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
Oh, okay. He's talking suspicious.
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me a while to recall my memory. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. see if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need Mora. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
Okay, he seems fine. I hear the rain starting to come down around my house, so if the stream seems to lag a bit, that's definitely going to be on my side. So, apologies in advance if that does happen. It shouldn't be that bad of rain to take out my internet, but we do have trees around the house, so it could physically take it out on the outside. That's only if the winds kick up, though.
We've talked to all 3 suspects, purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
Yeah. Marcel did for just a tiny bit, but I think it was just that one line in the tone. Yeah, none of them really stood out as a suspect.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able to find.
But where should we start?
Jacques' motive?
Ah, you're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance. That makes sense.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused, he and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
But did it land? It was Jacques. I wouldn't have fired a shot at all.
Oh?
Oh, if
And
I
why
was
is
Jacques.
that?
Oh, that's my bad. I did not read that correctly. Could he guarantee his safety after killing Callus?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the order and seek protection from my father.
Seems the third person was the one who derailed everything.
Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory. Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
And I guess since Navia has come back into the limelight. Alright, have fun! And thank you for coming!
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. Ability to control privately owned Gardamex.
Well, they have to be rich, so Marcel makes the most sense. Because Thierry can't. And Florent, I mean, I don't think he's in the position really to do that. Marcel's the only one with money to.
Uncle Marcel? My father did really trust him. And they worked together on a large number of projects. Maybe that's how he got to know Jacques. And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex. It's still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child.
Yeah, but if circumstances changed enough.
Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of Mora and energy to fight his own synth business?
Maybe it was someone else? Thierry doesn't make the most sense just because he can't. He kind of knows the process for the serial number business, but I guess he's the next best guess.
Thierry, you say? It is possible that he's figured out a way to convert the Gardamex for personal use. But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha. I also don't think he'd be able to keep that kind of tampering under wraps.
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to prove it with a simple check of the guard's inventory. If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
And then I guess maybe it's Florent. Or it's gonna turn out to be none of these people.
Florent?
Florent.
It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the best chance of learning about his dealings with Jacques.
And he did say he physically kind of went there, so he could be the third person.
But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security, so he shouldn't have much means when it comes to finances.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
That was my only concern. He can't afford it, and I don't know about Tiri. I don't know. I mean, he knows the process, but he don't got the money. And I don't honestly think all three of them would work together just for, you know, the mecha. I mean, they could, so then not one is to blame, but I don't know.
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to dispatch a whole group so quickly. Who could it be?
I think... Oh, this stuff again. Claim to be grateful for the kindness. He was there on the day of the gaze and can provide evidence that Callus was not carrying a gun when he went out. The only issue is Florent and Tiri can't really afford it. Marcel can, but he doesn't have much of a motive. But he also didn't really give much information either. So I'm gonna select Marcel because he can afford it, and he didn't give us the most recollection of events. So that might either be because of his actual age, or he's trying to keep his name fine. But he's willing to defend Navia. He's probably wanting to keep her out or something.
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed the most suspicious of them all.
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these three, did he?
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered. When he laid out his case for the three, the rationale he gave me made a lot of sense as well. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us, and possesses significant intellect and foresight. Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
He is someone who's very close to you after all.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
The production base.
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. But we don't have any other options right now. We need far more solid proof before we can hope to go charging in on our enemy.
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Uh-oh. If he's been looking for us, I'm guessing something's in a panic.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something happen?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Another? What for?
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this one?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
What a child get into now? I honestly kind of forgot he showed up in Fontaine. Besides, like, the reminder that for some reason we have his vision. But I honestly forgot he showed up.
What? Is that someone you know?
Yeah, we know him. Maybe even a little too well.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. It's absurd, don't you think?
It's only absurd because we know he's been busy with other things. I don't know if they're just gonna start blaming all the Fatui at this point.
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
Right, because they'll think they've already found the culprit.
Yeah, and it'll be a lot harder then to clear Mr. Callus's name.
I understand. Well, partner, what do you think we should do? We still haven't found any conclusive evidence.
Let's split up.
Huh? Split up? What do you mean?
You can go to Ernie's, while I'll go to investigate that place. I'm confident in my combat abilities.
Just as expected of my partner. Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the culprit's attention will be focused on You're right.
Ooh,
This
sorry.
is our best opportunity. All right then, let's do this. I'll stall them at the Opera House and charge Marcel as the true culprit.
I did not mean to skip that other thing of dialogue. I know where this is going, but I did not mean to skip that.
I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time and hand the decisive evidence to me.
Leave it to me.
We'll help you, just like you helped us in Lyney's trial.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malou, Silver, when did you two get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that you might require our assistance. It's our hope that your confidence will be bolstered with the two of us by your side.
Thank you so much. Then, let's make haste for Arrhenius. Paimon, Traveler, I'll see you at the Opera House.
See you then! Now that Navia has set out for Arrhenius, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over.
Why are we like almost already over here though? I don't know if it teleported us for the sake of simplicity, or if that was an accident. Because now we're right at the spot and we're like all the way over here. I mean, I'll take it, it's just odd.
Huh. According to Malus's info, the synth production base is underwater. Let's go and try to find the entrance.
Do we get to go underwater? Ooh. It is so cool that we actually get to swim like this. I remember seeing this in the promotional stuff for Fontaine. I was wondering when we'd be able to get to do it. Wait. Oh wait, what does this do? That's not doing much. I really can't claim this. Okay, there we go. Anyways, I'm gonna swim away from that. Not my problem today. I guess we just infinitely get to go in water. That's pretty cool.
Finally found it! Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. It sure doesn't seem out of the ordinary at all.
Well, they don't want it to stand out.
Ah, you're right. An important place like this is bound to have a ton of protective measures and mechanisms. Navia's probably arguing up a storm right now to stall for us.
It would appear that I must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
He's gonna be like, nuh-uh.
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name. Is that right? In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist Clorend, right?
Oh my god, he just wants to fight, huh? He's like, hey, I'll turn myself in just so I can go fight stuff, you know? Like, totally mess up your legal system anyways.
I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received.
I'm just really wondering who accused him unless he just turned himself in just to go and pick a fight with the champion.
When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect for a major case. This isn't the place for you to be looking for fights.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No. That's not what I meant.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly, and we have made very little progress. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to determine the culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got the wrong man.
You really do. I mean, he's picking a
What's going on? Why is she interjecting again?
Oh, hush.
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time because you were able to provide the court with a key eyewitness. But that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjections.
Oh, what are you worried about?
Oh, please.
You okay?
Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics?
Hold on just a moment. I was asking what you were worried about and, you know, if you're okay. Unless you're regarding to the game. Okay, and it seems like you guys might be hitting a bit of lag, so I do apologize about that. I'm not sure how to fix it. It's telling me that YouTube's not receiving enough video. So, I really don't know what to do about that. That's a new thing.
We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default, correct?
Oh, a young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules and procedures anyway, so I'll take you up on that offer.
Oh, I don't have that many points yet. But I try to join and lurk when I can. But I don't have that many. I think maybe 6K, which is not a lot compared to one of my friends who I'm a mod for, Meek Manatee. I have like 50, 60K with him. So I'm gonna be using that at some point. I'm not even saving for anything. I just kind of try to stack them up. So if I can barrage someone with something, you know, at some point when I feel like it. But no, I usually just kind of collect the points. So don't worry. You shouldn't have to worry about me using them for anything. Because I'll be stacking them up more than anything.
So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
Yeah, I don't have a ton of points yet.
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
That person is...
We're already giving somebody already. Are you really gonna give Marcel? I mean, I guess. Oh no, I'll probably do that eventually, but it'll be a while because I want to make sure, you know, I still have enough after I use it. That's kind of the same way I am with like money too. Like I like to make sure I have a good store of it before I spend anything. Which actually I'm getting a few little small acrylic standees in a few days to put on my desk. And now I need to just find lights on my desk. But I have found a very cool on Etsy a whole energy sword with lights in it, and I kind of want to get that for my wall, but it is like $200+, so we're gonna wait a bit. But it'll look super cool if I can get it. But yeah, now don't worry, it'll probably be like a good month or two till I do anything with a bark redeem or anything like that.
Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabriere.
The audio changed a bit. I almost thought it put us into a cutscene.
Huh? What Confrérie? Never heard of them in my life.
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di Rosula's sister organization?
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Oh my god, I forgot. This is basically their drama show for them. They don't even think about the consequences.
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. Committing to the charge also means taking on the legal responsibilities associated with it. And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation. Knowing this, do you still wish to charge this man?
Yes, I do.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take your places on the court. Members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he may stand trial.
Oh no, yeah, I bet he'd be real shocked.
Mr. Marcel, you will not require an attorney. Is that correct?
Apologies. It all just happened so quickly. I still haven't figured out what's going on. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding between me and Navia.
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived, Miss Navia, please present your charges.
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago, to the case of Callus the Unfaithful. Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the dots for the serial disappearances case.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father? Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember both you and I only ran to the scene when we heard the sound of a gun. If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a suspect as well?
I mean, it could, but if you're right on the scene.
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't even have the big picture yet. Even I'm struggling to remember some details of that case.
She's still trying to manage the show, but the show's very much gone away from her at this point.
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my charge and reasoning.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage.
We don't
On
go.
the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabriere.
I thought we'd go back to the Traveler at some point, but I guess not.
During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead from a gunshot wound. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel.
They didn't mention the clothes, though.
Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarand in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to the injuries. These are the known facts about the case.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even so, Jacques still had no reason to pull the trigger. In truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father when my father seized the gun from him. After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing all traces of him from the scene. Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, the guard's conclusion appeared quite sensible to us at the time. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the abilities of water from the primordial sea.
Now I gotta find where the loophole is. So it's definitely usually not the first place because that just gives us the location and the people. So according to investigations, Callus, who had a motive to kill, murdered Jacques for his betrayal, but is that really true? And there's the 2 gunshots thing. Could that... I don't know if that's a loophole, though. He didn't carry a gun out with him.
Something's...
Okay. This is totally gonna be me slamming every option till it works. So did he act in self-defense, or was it more of an incident? More to it.
The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callus when he set out for the banquet. However, in the end, he reconsidered, and instead shared everything with Callus, hoping to seek the latter's protection. Unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already considered this possibility, and had sent out another assassin.
So when the guests arrived, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding the gun while Jacques is dead. Based on the investigation, there's no possibility that anyone else could have done the deed and escaped. Thus, Callus was held as culprit. After the re-investigation, Callus did not bring a gun with him. Moreover, the details of the case in point... of the case point towards the possible of an existing person on the scene. So we could bring up the clothing. Does that work?
This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead.
Yeah, especially if there is clothes on the scene and for some reason they don't mention it. It makes the most sense. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms. As a result, they conclude that the first suspect's shot must have missed, while the second one must have taken Jacques' life. So then, based on the circumstance where there is no third person on the scene, but it turns out there's a method that is clever to cover up the killer's tracks, which would then be the primordial seawater.
A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself. But now, it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third person at the scene, and that they were turned into water after committing the murder. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash away all traces of their dissolved accomplice. Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the true version of events.
Well, that was a lot quicker than Lyney and Lynette's. But the evidence pieces were honestly easier in my head to connect together.
Ah, so that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these years?
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective motives. I guess they didn't shoot each other after all.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal if you wish to prove your innocence.
This is why you could have gotten an attorney, sir.
Ah, but I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
Then, may I ask some questions? In my opinion, we primarily need to determine two things. One, do you have the evidence to back up your claims?
I'm afraid not. At least not at this very moment.
Boo! If you don't have any evidence, you should just go home!
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes against a record of people who went missing around the same time, we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that time, regardless of age or gender.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would consider this to be a reasonable investigative direction.
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little differently today?
She's actually, like, you know, working with us. Which Navia mentioned when we were having dinner with her, that Farina might be acting a little more like she kind of owes us, only because we beat her beat her in court in front of people, so she couldn't control her own show. So it's probably a little embarrassing for her. Or at least to her in her head, with how she likes to manage the show.
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Yeah, that's my point.
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth is indeed as you described, then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved, he could have at least mounted a defense.
I've thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more important to him. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret for the true culprit of the serial disappearances case. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that going forward with the truth would allow the culprit to be brought to justice. What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances case.
What?
If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. All of us would have stood to lose our lives.
And basically cause an all-out war.
Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right. But what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect anyone? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist. But by staying silent, we retained the ability to deter our opponents and continue the stalemate. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot, and restore my father's truth and honor back to him.
So, you mean to say, your father intended to die in the duelist's ring?
Yep.
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Well...
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent, Clarand.
She really doesn't want to talk about it, but I mean, she's kind of involved. She is technically a loose thread part of it.
I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have to do anything for my sake. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand, You should tell us the truth about his sacrifice.
So, during the duel, did you believe that Callus was intending to die?
Yes, I did.
I forgot how low her voice is.
As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives. In my line of work, I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined, others passionate, and some even manic and twisted. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring alive.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions. It appears there really are good grounds to reopen this case.
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case and the serial disappearances case.
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of beside the point.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearances case?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a matter of timing. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And, at the end of Lyney's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I still can't help but find it a little preposterous. I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most endearing traits.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events?
Well, that is true, and that's why I was kind of curious if I wouldn't think all 3 of them, Marcel and the other 2, would do it, but it's somewhat possible, but...
On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor the place?
That is true. I was kind of thinking it'd be a keyword kind of thing, but I don't know, it's just water.
Know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations until I'm the only one left on the list. Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl you see as your own daughter? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings. Ah well, let Uncle Marcel teach you another lesson. Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyways.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action with nothing to gain. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade. My business only thrived when I received Callus's patronage. But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
I do apologize, demoiselle. This was my mistake.
No, it's not your fault. I'm sure he had come prepared.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my first business license against the first known case of the serial disappearances? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snezhnaya for the first time. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anguish in your heart?
Seems like she got the wrong guy.
At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings as he neared the end of his life. But aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations right now? He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious, instead of dwelling only on your own feelings. Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things, you'd have met most of his expectations.
This isn't just about me. and it never has been. The biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth, while that same agency has long been taken from them. The people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered tragic ends due to their sense of justice. Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. I'm sure some are coming to those of you in the audience as well. And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vache?
Oh, okay, there we go. We got something now.
Oh, so you do know that name.
Yeah, I picked the right guy. I honestly don't know if it let us pick the other two at all, Thierry or Florent. But I'm glad I picked the right one.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have that reaction.
I was waiting for you to say that.
A little while earlier at the entrance of the synth production base. Now we're back to us. Oh, we're already inside. Yay, I didn't have to collect that hydro sigil thing for the archon towers. Ooh, this perspective thing's gonna drive me a little nuts. What is this? Party setup. I think my party's as good as I can really get at the moment. And I'm just gonna have to fight everything, aren't I? Yeah, I didn't think they'd let me go that easy.
Allow me!
Flames! Purge!
So glad I kind of remembered that I got this good team on me. Actually got very close to what this team actually is.
Shudder!
Right now, this team is just my highest level and most built people. No, don't want to leave domain. But I do actually have Kokomi, Diluc, and Venti on the same team. I do kind of forget who the last person is. What does this do?
Whoa! The floor is going up!
Oh, okay. Giant elevator.
Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place.
York. Alright, not great stuff, but you know what? It's something.
Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up.
I want to think it's those cogs. Let me look at this door. Okay. That door at least doesn't let us do anything. Is there anything in the water? Oh no, that's just a regular animation for it. Okay, I thought we were turning something. So then I'm gonna guess we need to get these ones to turn up here if they're not already doing that. And now how do I get back up? Can I go back up? Hello? I guess I have to go here. I wonder if that's because of like the new water thing that to not confuse the game. Oh, come on. Okay, well that's gonna be a little annoying. No, just let me get up. Damn. And I don't think there's some way we can really get through here. So there's no real helping that. Oh no, wait. Wait a minute. Wait a dang minute. That doesn't work though. So... what does that do? I have no clue what that symbol does. Do we need it for something? That's very new. Yeah, because we can't just break down that door. Unless we need it for up. That might be exactly what we need. Okay, okay. I kind of get it. Oh, it came... the... Hold on a minute. Do I need to do this just faster? Totally could have run out of time. No, it breaks the second I come out of the water. Okay. I'm not exactly sure what to do here. I feel like there has to be something to do with the water. Mostly just because it's here. And because this is pointing to over here, but... does that do it? Wait, what does this do? Oh, I totally didn't look that it gave me an extra control. My bad.
The water level is rising. Now we can swim to the top.
Nice.
But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
Yeah, but I'm sure we can raise water from here. I didn't even realize I have Deluge Alt again, but I do feel this real quick. Mostly because I accidentally popped it.
Crush. Allow me.
Hello.
Shudder.
Another wave. My characters aren't too badly built.
Crush. Beg for mercy. Brace yourselves.
That didn't really do much.
Shudder.
There we go. And time for more water! Wow!
Now the path is clear. Let's go.
I'm going as fast as they'll let me. Going down. Loving all the blue. And, oh, honestly, I thought this was a big chunk of water. Huh, neat bridge. And it looks like there's Gardamex with like little corruption symbol for when they attacked us. Well, really, Navia. We were asleep. All right, buddy, ready to duel.
think you can get away?
Ways to the wicked!
Uphill battle.
Okay, not a great spot to use Kokomi there. We're fine.
Flood of frost. Crush. Shudder. Crush.
Flames! Purge!
Got these dogs down pretty good. Kind of remind me of some of the I don't remember, the kind of underground island near Kokomi's island.
After all that, we finally made it to the innermost sanctum.
I just can't remember the name of it. It's been a while since I've been there, and I never finished my exploration.
Though, as expected, the mastermind isn't here.
If I'm not mistaken, he's being charged by Navia as we speak.
That's right. Then let's hurry up and find some evidence so we can get back to the Opera House and help Navia. What's all this? Aw, it's a bunch of really cute things. Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box.
Well, all the disappearances are of young girls. There's a name too.
Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why are all these cute things labeled with different girls' names?
They probably belong to the victims.
Huh? You mean the girls from the serial disappearances? They were brought here? And then they were turned into water. And all the boxes of things. These names. That...
Anything else over here? There's like a whole little workshop.
Whoa! There's so much synth here! And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the waters of the primordial sea.
There's so many.
Mixing in progress. Ready to drink? Stock sample? Huh. They've also got all the synth pretty clearly labeled.
Well, probably so they, don't take it on accident.
Whoa! There's even fruit-flavored synth?
Well, that definitely proves that this is where they produce synth.
Yep, it's super obvious.
Synth, a popular potion circulating quite widely. It gives a drinker a very pleasant experience for a short time, but its side effects are equally strong. So it's basically like a drug business.
Let's see what's written here. Nothing escapes Detective Paimon's eyes. Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation report on him.
It's probably related to his and Jacques' case.
Yep, it's about finding someone to assassinate Jacques and Callus because of a lack of confidence that Jacques himself would go through with it. This should prove the existence of the third person, right?
Yeah, but we need to prove that it's Marcel, too. Is there anything else?
We still have not determined the exact content of the key information Callus has passed on to certain members of his organization.
The green Oreo? Oh, like the mint ones? I need to get those whenever I go down there. Or actually, next time I go to Walmart. I haven't had Oreos in a bit. The mint ones are so good to me, though. So, you know, if you have any left over whenever I come to visit at some point, I really don't have any dates yet. I wish I did, but I don't.
The old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the promise he's made to us, he will still have the upper hand.
I will even take the Oreos if they're stale. They're still good. You dip them in milk anyways. Or I do, anyways.
He can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. The only option left is to remove him from the picture entirely. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. He won't declare war as long as we don't touch Navia. Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups.
They planned this well in advance.
They're all just so evil.
Clues concerning Callus's case that were found inside the bookshelf. The mastermind did not believe that Jacques would do the deed and thus sent a third party to ensure Callus's death. The content that followed also defined the culprit's motives to some extent. We still need to prove that it is Marcel though. Like, third person, yeah, sure. But we need to be like, this is Marcel, exactly.
Oh, look! There's an important looking basin over here, and it's full of water.
That must be water from the primordial sea. Kinda looks like slime.
That means this is where they make all the synth. And that special water is the main ingredient. If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth. But the pure stuff can dissolve a human. Paimon will take notes on this incriminating evidence.
Ah yes, Paimon, with such neat handwriting. Is there anything back here? Oh, we didn't do the table? Ow! The thunder's like so loud over here. It hurt my ears. The hell? I've never had that happen.
What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place for research. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the primordial sea and use his theory as a foundation to achieve a breakthrough.
I just had a thunderstrike that sounded really close, so I'll need to go check out that later. Because I have a window that is near trees, and I really don't want a tree in my window. I just got new windows.
The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22, 23, and 24 were dissolved.
Oh, so, but why is he using female specimens only for the primordial sea experiments? Calm down, Paimon.
Sorry, Traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's just that Paimon's never read something so scary before. How could someone write something that terrible in such a matter-of-fact tone? You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going.
The goal of the researcher is to save his lover, a woman called Vinier, who was dissolved. I probably pronounced that wrong.
So that's why he did all of these experiments. Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane!
There's another name here, Vashir.
Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case.
No, he is the researcher.
You mean Vache is the one who did all of these... experiments?
Yes, he signed off on a bunch of experiment reports.
So that's it! Vache was no victim, but personally took his lover and... No, that's not it either! If that's the case, why would he want people to resurface from the water?
There must be more to this than meets the eye.
In any case, Paimon will write it all down. We've looked at almost everything here, and it seems like our theories were spot on. But...
Who really is this Vashir?
yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals his true identity. No wonder even Neuvillette wasn't able to find anything. Whoever it is probably destroyed everything to do with that name a long time ago. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the true culprit.
Clever, but maybe not clever enough. Let's look again.
Sure thing. Paimon won't admit defeat to this guy either.
Guess it lets us re-examine stuff. Besides the investigation reports, there's a lot of research material here. It seems the experiments have been going on for a very long time, but nothing here on Vashir's true identity. I doubt the pool will give anything. Maybe because these have names on it.
You take that side and Paimon will take this side. Check everything carefully. We'll find something for sure.
After some time,
Ugh. Nothing at all. And Paimon can't even find snacks either.
Paimon, I found it.
Whoa, really? Let Paimon see. Venier. Isn't that Vache's lover's name? Then you found her diary. Let's see. Aw. It's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. She was so sweet, too. Oh, Paimon feels even worse for her now.
Take a look at this page. She made a list of baby names. I can't read a single thing of that.
So many! A whole page's worth! But they're all crossed out. Was she unhappy with all of them? The final name she decided on was Marcel. Wait, but Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vache and Venier's grown son?
I figured it out. Let's go, Paimon. That or he either just took the name.
Hey! Paimon still hasn't figured it out yet.
After obtaining the final piece of key evidence, you race back to the opera. Epaulets.
And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vache? Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my partner. I just knew you'd return in the nick of time.
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this court?
It's all right, Monsieur Neuvillette. Given their confidence, I expect they've found the crucial evidence.
You say you've never heard of Vashir. That seems like the best evidence.
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vache.
I love when Aether gets to speak. I love his voice.
Huh?
We've investigated your lair and we already know everything. After your lover, Venier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you. You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all records of your past as Vache.
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has now been established.
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel, do you know where you went wrong? You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as individuals.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on to the next stage.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this?
So now he blatantly pretty much admitted.
Pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were laughing at me. They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vignier's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, it's too late now. All those who were dissolved are gone forever. You only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people. Vignier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes, I will follow. But I'm not from this blasted place. So I can't be dissolved. No matter what I do.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
He's taking a swig of that in the middle of court.
I can't dissolve. Can't dissolve. Can't dissolve. Do you all see? I can't go. I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back? I did all of that, and in the end, that accursed Callus still got the better of me. I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very end.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Or at least make sure he doesn't escape.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! I still need to save Vignier. I promise. We made a promise. Vignier. Vignier. Please, Vignier. Don't think badly of me. All I want to do is fulfill our promise.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer have any basis.
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Oh, hush.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and summarize the truth behind the serial disappearances case.
Nebulet
The man
proceeds
now
and
known
compiles
as
all the
Marcel
evidence.
was originally named Vacher and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Vignier. During an underwater expedition, Vignier accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vignier back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria, and began to manufacture and market synth. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president Callus at a banquet. Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene. And just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Lyney as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Lyney failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vacher's machinations that he was eventually successfully charged in court. That concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case, with the truth revealed to all.
2 birds in 1 stone.
The Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vacher.
Just a little warning, you guys might be experiencing a little lag. That is on my side. It is from the storm, because YouTube said it's not getting enough video.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Vacher is guilty.
Ta-da!
Guards, take Vacher away.
And maybe be careful with his water that is there. The bottle looks clear right now, but I don't think he drank it all.
With that, the serial disappearances case is over now.
And hopefully it no longer continues.
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true culprit would be such a polite and well-spoken guy?
Yippee! We helped Navia bring the bad guy to justice! He's hurt so many innocent people and now he's finally getting what he deserves. Huh? Are you okay?
Well, someone close to her just got, you know. She found her answer, but it's in someone that really she was probably hoping not to find it in. It's probably emotionally wrecked right now.
Demoiselle, you were absolutely brilliant.
The day our late boss had always hoped for has finally come. You can rest easy now, knowing justice has been served.
Yeah. Yeah. It's finally over. It's all thanks to you guys. And my partner. See, Papa? Spina di Rosula's still doing well with me at the helm.
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy ending. Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend to. So, if you'll excuse me...
He's kind of just a cameo character at this point.
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
Ugh, what now? None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage left?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine. This has always been the rule.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right? Let's just get this over with.
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection to the serial disappearances case. The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent of the charges. We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges.
Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale. I remember when that was a big trend of just that audio, of him saying that over and over and over. I found that one funny.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Tartaglia is guilty.
What?
What?
I've never seen his eyes so wide.
Hey! That's not funny! Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent? What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the Chief Justice.
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just convicted him on general principle?
That's kind of what I'm thinking, because he's clearly not related to the case, but if there's some other crime, maybe he did in Fontaine, and I don't know, it's just being weird.
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
Child, has been declared guilty by the Oratrice. Just what is going on here?
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal is, by law, the final verdict of the court. We must accept the guilty verdict.
Not without a reason.
Guards, please take the suspect into custody per court protocol.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
Fight scene, let's go!
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
He actually got a scratch on him. Damn.
Hey, Monsieur Novelette, what's going on? Shouldn't they have been cleared already?
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, the Oratrice's judgment is the final verdict of the court. All I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
If even the Chief Justice doesn't know, then we have no choice but to ask the Archon herself.
Why are you looking at me? I had nothing to do with it! I don't know what happened there either. Hey, stop staring at me!
Damn, she's acting real aggressive.
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but that's impossible. Didn't she create the Oratrice herself?
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called justice?
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict to be handed out in this court? Did you really believe that the judgment could be mistaken or be the result of some sort of random mishap? Don't tell me you thought even I had been blindsided by the Oratrice's result.
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, but she's gonna play up a show.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just took place, including my supposed shock and bafflement, was a part of an elaborate performance, with every action meant to stir up drama and excitement. And, of course, for every performance there is a script. Everything has unfolded exactly as I expected from the very beginning. As the embodiment of the very concept of justice, the Oratrice shall never render an arbitrary judgment! If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been blinded by the superficial appearance of innocence. Everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond ordinary comprehension and completely unforgivable! All shall be revealed in time. You will come to understand my noble intentions, as well as the absolute correctness of the Oratrice's verdict. Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is now time for this performance to end. As the lead actress, I shall be the first to take my leave. Toodaloo!
She just toodalooed her way out of court.
So she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea.
Way to pull the rug out from under her.
However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect, we will do our utmost to clear his name.
I mean, child can be in jail. But, you know, under this case, probably not the best to go mixing it up.
Alright. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take your word for it for now. After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff. So he should have known he'd go to prison someday, right?
Alright. And I think this is where I will call it for now. We've done a pretty decently long stream for what I usually do. So, good to me. So, I do thank you all for staying in the Haven. I hope you've had a wonderful stay. When I'm going to stream next, I'm not entirely sure. As my boss says, everybody and their mother is taking off for summer, which does kind of make me busier because I'm still here. I do hope to do Sunday.
You want to learn some Favonius?
However, I'm not entirely sure if that will be possible. One, because it's one of my friend's birthdays, so if he does do something for it, I will probably be there. You know, if he does something online. Otherwise, I'm not working then, and I don't believe anybody should be calling off. So Sunday might be possible. Just not sure exactly what yet, but I will make sure to kind of let you guys know. Try to keep a little bit of an update near the afternoon of that day. So I do thank you for staying with me and continuing this court case and summing up another case nicely.
Then make a preemptive strike against the enemy.
So, for now, bye-bye!